Three, two, one. Hello, we're live.
Sorry, I forgot the countdown for you, Mike.
How's are you doing it?
Welcome back, everybody, to Late Night Snacks. We know that there might not be a lot of you out there in YouTube land right now because we know a lot of people are hunkering down. Some people are making the choices to visit family. If you are, we just say be safe. That's all that we say is be safe and take care of yourself.
That's right.
We are here tonight to discuss This Is Us Season 5 theories. And this is going to be our 2020 theories. So there probably will be a part 2 to this because right now the show is on break for the holidays and doesn't come back until January. So it will be back 2021, January 5th.
Yep.
So that will be 2021. So that is why this will be part 1 of our theories for 2020. And we will have part 2 for 2021 after we get a few more episodes in.
Yep.
I am one of your hosts, Irish Melly, along with
that guy, just that guy.
That guy.
And so this is our last This Is Us until it comes back. Join us for, if you're liking our TV coverage, join us for The Stand. We'll be starting covering The Stand as early as maybe next week or start our pre kind of stuff for The Stand. So it's exciting. It's going to be a great miniseries. So if you're enjoying This Is Us, we'll be back after January 5th.
So with that, what we're going to do, we have scoured the intranet, the interweb that there is, and we have found a bunch of fan theories, and we're going to read these fan theories along with some of our own, and we're going to then tell you our take on a theory if it's not one of ours currently or something we've thought of. So it's going to be fun. So I say, let's just get right to it and jump in. What do you think?
Yep. Some of these are a little older, so things have already happened. So we're going to talk about, where we've come from that too. So our first theory is from the leftover of last season. So we see this theory is that Kevin and Randall will make up sooner rather than later. In a 2032 flash forward, the Pearsons gather at an ailing Rebecca's bedside, and Randall and Kevin still look pretty tense alongside each other. This led fans to worry that the brothers still hadn't made up after 12 years from their fight. But Sterling K. Brown, who plays Randall, hinted that's not the case. Ready for some brotherly love, he tweeted in early October alongside a clip that shows Randall arriving at Kevin's door, perhaps to make amends. Kevin is about to become a father, and Randall will likely want to be involved in Kevin's children's lives. Yeah, I thought the whole fight thing was a big moment for the end of the season. It won't last. None of the person still, they're going to make up. They may be different. Their relationship may have changed because of that, but they're not going to be. They're going to be made up really quickly.
I think they've been through worse.
Yeah.
So let's see. This one we know already, but it says Kevin and Madison get engaged. Now that we know Madison is pregnant with Kevin's twins, many fans have wondered if she's the mystery fiance from the 40th birthday party flash forward. The synopsis for season 5, episode 3 seems to confirm as much, reading Kevin and Madison navigate their engagement, which we know happened. But just because they're engaged doesn't necessarily mean that they'll make it down the aisle. Yep. So with that, we'll jump right into Kevin ends up with someone else is another fan favorite theory here. This is showrunner Dan Fogelman told reporters in March that there are many more chapters in Kevin's romantic story to come. Both Cassidy from his AA meetings and Sophie from his childhood were shown in the closing moments of season 4 finale. So perhaps Kevin ends up with one of them. Cutting to these two women with whom he shared intense relationships that moved him forward and backwards in great ways.
There's a reason for that, and those characters we are not done with, Fogelman added. Justin Hartley, who plays Kevin, has also suggested that Madison's intense endgame for Kevin, or that Madison is an endgame for Kevin. He told Entertainment Weekly that he hopes the next flash forward shows who Kevin's with in 2032. That would be the payoff, right? You want to know who it is, or if it was someone that had changed, he hinted.
I think he's going to end up with the cousin of Rebecca.
The cousin of Rebecca?
Yeah, that he was with at the end of season 4.
You mean Beth? Beth.
Yeah, Beth, not Rebecca. Beth.
That's why I was like, why would he end up with his mother's cousin?
Yeah. No, Beth.
That's a whole nother show, dude. That's a whole nother theory.
Yeah, that's what I think he's gonna end up with, because that was so hot.
I don't know. I think that storyline's done. I think part of the, and it sucks, but it's very real nowadays. And it has been for a long time, but it's nice for it to be seen in the public eye on, something such as primetime television. But their relationship with the interracial relationship that they were having made it very difficult, and not always just because of how people looked at them, but because there were things about her that he would never understand, and there were things about him that she would never understand. Mm-hmm. But mostly that he would never understand about her.
Mm-hmm. But remember, it says that Kevin's ultimate relationship will be with somebody who has changed.
Right.
I mean, he's going to have changed. Or maybe they're, whatever was keeping them apart has changed. I just think that they put so much importance to it.
They did for a long time.
Yeah, it's for a brief moment, and then it just went away. And I don't think that we're done there yet.
Okay. That I didn't thought about that, but there's a good chance we could go back to that. You're right, because it is still family. It's not like it's someone who's just disappeared and we won't see it. And it's still Beth's sister, not her cousin. That's Beth's sister.
Her best sister, yeah. Was it?
That's what it was. Beth's sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her little sister.
Yeah. That's what I think. I honestly think that's where we're going, because it was so important.
Yeah. Okay, so our next theory is that Rebecca's medical trial doesn't go well. We know from the flash forwards that Rebecca's memory problems get worse, but some fans have theorized that's because of a car crash or something else unrelated to her current Alzheimer's diagnosis. However, a clip from the season 5 trailer hints that the Alzheimer's trial doesn't go well, and that she's actually deteriorating even faster despite her upbeat attitude. And I just feel like magic, Rebecca tells Kate in the trailer, while Kate looks back at her upset and concerned. If Rebecca thinks the trial is working when it's not, it would make her memory lapses even harder for her kids to handle, which is very true. But we also know, because of where we're at so far, that that was where we got that confusing scene when she's lost in the park and she thought she saw William, which we thought was the current times, but turns out it wasn't, or it was. No, we thought it was a flash forward, but it turned out it was a current time.
Mm-hmm.
So the next,
but we know the trial doesn't go through. We know that she didn't go to the trial.
Right, but we also know that Randall is very pushy, and we see that Randall talks her into going to the trial, even though she doesn't want to, and Kevin doesn't. She knows what she told Kevin, and Kevin doesn't want her to do it.
Yeah, but we know since the season started, the trial didn't happen because of COVID.
Right.
So
right.
She didn't go to trial.
Right. So it gets put off, but we did get that little bit of that hint of it. And I want to say, wasn't it for the next episode, which is January 5th?
Well, no, I didn't see the preview.
I think that might have been where we got the little bit of the preview, is that Randall talks her into taking the trial. Or no, this already happened. It already happened because Beth comments about him talking her into it when she didn't want to do it.
Yeah, that was all last season. And but we started out this season, the very first episode of this season, they said, well, because of COVID, they can't do the trial.
Right.
So it wasn't going to go, period. So there is no trial.
Right. So our next theory has to do with Kate and Toby. We get into Kate and Toby now. And this big theory is that Kate and Toby break up because Toby's not wearing a wedding ring in the 2032 flash forward. Some fans think that he and Kate get a divorce. And season 5 could be laying the groundwork for that with a difficult journey to adoption. There's going to be struggles around it, Chris Sullivan, who plays Toby, told Entertainment Weekly. I'm sure there will be individual personal feelings between Toby and Kate. I'm sure her family will have thoughts. We'll see how the writers handle it, but I can guarantee conflict. He added that this season will delve into the long-term health of Toby and Kate's relationship. And I think this has to do with the big bombshell that we have to wait till January to hear more about now, where she's sitting at the table with Toby and telling Toby about the abortion.
Mm-hmm. I think Kate's going to die. I really do.
Well, that will lead us right into our next theory, which is that Kate dies. Worse than a divorce is the theory that Toby's not wearing a ring because Kate dies. This used to seem out of the question because Toby says in the 2032 flash forward, I just talked to Jack and they're on their way. And the there in question seemingly included Kate. However, with the introduction of young Jack's sister Haley, the there could now mean him and Haley, leaving the possibility open that Kate is dead. That would be a real gut punch to fans who are sort of expecting Rebecca's death, but would be blindsided by Kate's.
Yep.
And that I could see that happening, but also, I guess one of the things that seems weird to me is that Toby's not wearing his wedding ring. Whereas if they didn't get a divorce and she died, I know a lot of people, they eventually, take off the ring, but for a long time, they don't take that ring off. They wear that ring. The relationship that Toby and Kate have, I don't feel like Toby would take that ring off so easily, which tells us that it's either been long enough and he took it off, or he's found someone new.
Or both have happened.
That she died.
Both could have happened. They could have split, and then she dies.
That's true too. We could split it up that way. Yeah.
So remember, Toby also says when he first goes into Kevin's house in 2023, he remarks how big it is. That he didn't imagine the house to be this big. Toby's never been there.
Right. Well, because that means that we don't know how long at that point Kevin had it built. Because we know Kevin took his father's plans and had it built right next to the other cabin, but we don't know how long it's been since it's been like built and open and ready for use. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that could be part of the reason Toby hasn't seen it, but it could also be, like you said, because maybe they haven't been together in a while but he doesn't seem like he's at odds with the family where he wouldn't stay in contact with them. You know what I mean?
Especially when his children are part of their family.
Exactly. But we know that if they're on their way and it is Jack and Haley, they're old enough to be coming on their own.
No, would they be? Because Kevin's kids are only little kids there, and they would only be about a year apart.
That's
Jack
true.
And Kevin's kids.
So right there might be a big clue. Who's bringing the kids then?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be Kate bringing the kids, and that could be it could be all three of them. But it could also be maybe it's Toby's new relationship. Maybe it's the nanny. Maybe it's, one of the other family members shows up. Maybe it's one of Randall and Beth's kids show up with them. We don't know. The next theory is that Rebecca and Miguel break up. Mm-hmm. In flash forwards of Rebecca, Miguel is nowhere to be seen, which is extremely unlike Miguel. This has prompted some viewers to theorize that he and Rebecca split up after her memory gets worse. And season 5 seems to hint as much. On a recent call with reporters, Fogelman said that Rebecca and Miguel's relationship will be a big focus of the season, and that she and Miguel moving to St. Louis for her clinical trial will be a challenging chapter for Rebecca moving forward. So I think there's a possibility there that we there was a little hinting at something. It was either the end of last season or the very beginning of this season where Kevin or Randall one is talking with Miguel, and this had to have been the end of last season, because this is when we find out about the thing, because Miguel says we have a system in place. This is when Rebecca left to go to the bakery.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when she gets lost in the park and she thinks she sees William. But Miguel says, that we have a system and, she's going to be okay. And he says something about the fact like I said, we have a system, but he says something about his memory not being so great. So what if Miguel has dementia or early onset Alzheimer's, and it's already starting to show? We're just not, the lens isn't being spotlighted on Miguel's memory problems right now. And what if Miguel is losing his mind as well? And what if that leads something to happen to him, or for him and Rebecca, for it to be hard because they don't recognize each other, they can't see each other? That would be crazy. And I know the next theory is that Miguel dies.
Probably.
Milo Ventimiglia, who plays Rebecca's ex-husband, Jack. I hate that it says ex-husband. Her widowed.
I know, right? Jack is Jack.
Jack hinted to Us Weekly that Miguel may not be at Rebecca's bedside for an even sadder reason. Speaking as Jack, it breaks my heart that Miguel is not around because that's his best friend, Milo said. But maybe that means that Jack and Miguel are just kind of hanging out in heaven together. I don't know. That's kind of a big line for him to drop.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not going to be anything like that.
Yeah.
And he's not one who usually drops hints or jokes like to throw people off of the scent type of thing.
Oh, no.
Milo does that. When Milo gives out information, it's usually genuine information about the show. So I don't know.
Milo would know.
Right? He would know, right?
Yeah.
And then we have our last theory of the evening here before we wrap up, or before we discuss some of our own that aren't on this list, but I think we pretty much covered most of our theories, is Nikki's wedding ring. So in a flash forward at the end of season 4, fans saw that Jack's brother Nikki is wearing a wedding ring. He's always seemed like a kind of loner, so it's surprising that he got married. But it's possible that he fell for and married Cassidy while the two worked through their PTSD together. Or maybe after Miguel was out of the picture, Nikki and Rebecca got married. She does have a habit of forming relationships with the people closest to her husband. Others think that Nikki may be pretending to be Jack or Miguel, since neither of them is there for Rebecca, and she may be too confused to understand why her husband wouldn't be at her side.
Oh my God, wait a minute. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Holy shit. Because when Kevin and Randall, one of them come into the house, right? I think it's Randall. He says, "Is he in the back? I need to talk to him." And he's talking about Nikki. Like, he's got a real definitive thing.
I think it was Kevin.
Yeah, he wanted to go talk to Nikki about something.
Mm-hmm.
He was like real dead on it. And I was like, so what if Kevin's going to confront Nikki about pretending to be Jack or whatever?
Yeah. And what if, okay, let's say, I know it sounds a little out there where you're like, why would Rebecca, if Miguel dies, why would Rebecca marry Nikki? Or why would, I could see it honestly happening, because now hear me out before you think I'm crazy. Now, what if we know that
Nicky feels like he owes this debt that he'll never be able to pay back to Jack and Jack's family for what Jack did for him. And, that was his brother. He loved his brother tremendously. Now, what if Rebecca's ailing self, her health getting worse and worse, and something did happen to Miguel, whether it's Miguel left or Miguel died? I don't see Miguel just leaving, even if they were fighting. I really think the only way Miguel's going to leave is if he dies. So let's just say Miguel's dead, and Nicky feels the responsibility to take care of Rebecca because she's getting worse. Even though the kids could do it, he doesn't want to put that burden on Jack's children, and he feels it's his duty to take care of his brother's dying wife because he feels that's what his brother would want him to do. I could see that.
Does he do that? Does he do that and marry her, or does he do that by impersonating Jack?
Well, right. And that's what I'm saying. I could see him marrying her for that reason, because before Rebecca gets too far out there, maybe Rebecca realizes that it is going downhill real fast. It's getting really bad. And she needs somebody to, sign those documents. She needs to legally be married. So there's somebody who can take responsibility for her. So I could see it being like that, but I really do like the idea of her going so far back into her mind that she not even realized that Jack is gone. Because when they show us clips, we do see similarities between Jack and Nicky. Even the actors who play them, we see a little bit of those similarities, which, we know how great their effects team is and their makeup team, you know what I mean? So we know they could easily do that. So I could see it being something like that, where it's to kind of, put her at ease while she's on her deathbed, or for some time now he's been pretending to be Jack because she saw him as Jack. It's sad. It's really sad, but I can see it.
The only catch to that story, if I'd love to see it, the only catch to that story is that could not have gone on for very long because the children wouldn't allow that.
Yeah. Maybe, but maybe if they saw what happened to Mom when they did try to explain it to her or break it down, and they saw how it only sent her spiraling into a really bad place, I could see them letting him do it. Or even maybe someone like Kevin suggesting that Nicky do it because he see Rebecca call out Nicky as Jack in the moment or something.
Maybe. Yeah, it would be crazy.
I don't know.
That would be really cool.
It would.
Yeah.
It would.
I think they're coming up with that. Gee, I didn't think about that before. That was the only possibility I didn't think of. It's good. I'll run that by Kaylee.
I think that pretty much wraps up our theories, unless there's anything else you can think that you need to add. I think we pretty much covered them all.
Yeah, I think, but yeah, my biggest ones to talk about is Kate's death. And now I'm on this Nicky thing.
Oh, one more thing I did want to mention. When we said that with Kevin and the whole Madison thing, we know how tiny of a person Madison is and everything else, plus her eating disorders over the years, and it's made her body weak and frail. She's carrying twins. What if Madison dies during childbirth, which is why they don't get married and end up down the aisle, and Kevin ends up with somebody else?
Yep. It's like, they have focused so much energy and so much of the show's time on Madison's eating disorder for it not to be significant in something.
Yeah.
And it can be very significant in the death of her and her childbirth or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So funky.
Things to ponder, things that make you go, Yep. Well, with that, we are late next. I am Irish Melly.
That guy. And Nuka.
That guy.
And Nuka.
Where is he?
He is
hiding. Oh, there he is. I see him. Hi, Nuka.
On the chair.
He's like, we're boring him to death. He's just sleeping through it.
Come on.
All right, guys. Well, be sure, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you're notified every single time that we upload, because we upload multiple times a week. If you guys haven't checked out any of our other library,
please go check out some of the videos. We have a plethora of content, ranging from A to Z, up the wall, down the wall, you name it, we've pretty much covered it. So go check that out. There's something for everyone. We love you. We love you for being here. We will see you guys in the next one. And remember, be kind to someone.
Bye-bye. Say bye, Nuke. Bye-bye, Nuke. Say goodbye, Nuke. Bye.